The map for the Doom 3 raid was revealed earlier today. What do you and your alliance need to do to plan right now for 6.3? Also, is it wise to drop everything you're working on a farm for Apocalypse right now? I have my opinion on that. I'll share that with you in this video. Also, where are our Farmable characters? We got more Scourge events coming up. We have Morgan Le Fay coming back, but where are the web warriors? We're talking about that in this video, along with all of your questions from the mailbag, because it is Monday. So if you're ready for that, find that like button, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello. What is up, Valley Club? I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. We have a lot to discuss in this video, and if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content, and if you are already subscribed, welcome back. We're discussing the Doom 3 raids. The map was revealed just a few short hours ago, so we're talking about that in this video. What do you and your alliance need to do to plan for that? Also, a lot of people are dropping everything they're working on, all their plans for Dark Dimension 5 for Apocalypse right now. But is that wise? I got some dates to reveal, to discuss with you, to see if that is what you want to do. And where are our Farmable characters? We're talking about that. We got a lot of mailbag questions. But like I said, let's talk about these Doom 3 raids, which were revealed earlier today. Now, Doom 3 raids will generally be one difficulty level harder than the Doom 2 raids. So if you're running normal difficulty, or if you're running difficulty 1 on the Doom 2 raids, it will equate to the normal difficulty of the Doom 3 raids. And your alliance should generally start to push for this raid because it's gonna have those teal elites, which you're gonna need to unlock Apocalypse. This is where you guys should be headed right now. And if you're not able to get into this, this is what your alliance should be pushing for. All right, so we got ISO 8 blue level 3 is a requirement for the Doom 3 raids. Level 4 is required for the highest difficulty of this. And it looks, at least from what we've seen on MSF.gg, these teal elite orbs are pretty much across the board, no matter what difficulty you are. So you're getting half an orb for 30% completion. 60%, you're getting 1 teal orb, and you're getting 1.5 teal orbs for 100% completion. So it may not be wise to push for that higher raid because of this teal orbs. Let's go take a look on MSF.gg on these lanes here. So if you look here, you're starting in the middle, and you can go either the right side or the left side. The first section you have on the left side is skill. Then we have a boss node here. Then we got bio section, and that leads to this boss here. Then we have the tech section. That leads to this boss here. Now, we don't know the enemies yet. We will know them hopefully before the update drops, but at the very latest, when the update drops sometime later this week, we will find out about all the enemies that we need to face. We got Mystic after Tech, and then after Mystic is Mutant. So it's very similar. We had Bio and Skill switch, but pretty much the same as the Doom 2 raids as far as the order of the traits that we're gonna have. And then the other side, instead of Mutant first, it's Mystic first, then Mutant, then Skill, Bio, and Tech. I don't run this right side, but I think they've switched the first 2 nodes on this side as well to make it very similar. So this is what it's gonna look like. And as far as these rewards, we're looking right now, if we scroll down for a little bit, we're looking at the normal difficulty of Doom 3. And if we look at the elite orbs, this is a half an orb for all ranks at that 30% completion. Rank 60%, you're getting 1 orb for all ranks on that completion, and 100% you're getting 1.5, which is why it's probably better not to push for the next level. And as we go down, just for example, difficulty 4, we see as far as at least these elite orbs, this teal elite orb fragments, you're getting the exact same amount, 30%, 60%, and then 100%. Now this is on MSF.gg, which is sort of official, but not really official. So they may change the rewards. These rewards may be wrong. They don't have all the enemies yet, so there may still be some changes to this. But let's talk about this next Scourge event. Each Scourge saga is expected to be released after the second run of each Horseman Scourge event. So that means that in update 6.3, we're getting 5 characters. We know that Hulk, the Red Hulk, is not one of them, which means Red Hulk should be coming sometime in update 6.4. Now, if we're getting August 6.3, 6.4 should drop sometime in September, which means 6.5, probably not getting another Scourge event if they hold to the plan that they've set for 2022. So after 6.4, we have War. We're getting 6.5. That should be sometime around October. More characters there, probably the next team for Death. And then in Death, 6.6, if they hold with the schedule, that is probably going to be in November. So that is when you're going to need your Bionic Avengers and whenever these other two teams are. And as far as War, we know that War is coming in 6.4, like I said, probably around September. So that is when you're going to need all these Hero Asgardians, your Wave 1 Avengers, and the Ravagers. So if you're not building them right now, at least start working towards the stars, at least start working towards the gold stars and the red stars if you get lucky and see them in the store. But we won't need them for a while, at least September at the earliest. So with that in mind, build your Scourge team, build your Horsemen teams if you want to. Just keep in mind that we may not get Apocalypse till December at the earliest, because they said that each of these sagas, which is where you're going to unlock Apocalypse, is expected to release after the second run of each Horseman Scourge event. So yeah, if Death is not getting the first run till November, who knows when that second run is going to be, which means Apocalypse could be pushed back to 2023. But they do say expected, not will run, so could change. We could get all that information now there. So we could get that raid running right as soon as that other one comes up, at least for November and December there. They may skip that one. And as far as the requirements, again, gear tier 13 for 1, gear tier 15 for difficulty 2, and gear tier 17. This is for the Horseman saga. And as far as Apocalypse's saga, doesn't say anything about difficulty 1, but you need to have gear tier 16 for difficulty 2, and to actually unlock all the red stars for Apocalypse, get them fully built, you're gonna need gear tier 17 to do difficulty 3, but you will need difficulty or gear tier 16 for difficulty 2 to unlock Apocalypse. So that is my thoughts on that. I'm probably gonna wait a little while, at least towards the end of this update, start to build some other teams that'll help me in the raids. So I'm probably gonna build these Bionic Avengers just to help me with the tech section of these Doom 3 raids, and then go back and build the My Hero Asgardians, my Wave 1 Avengers, and Ravagers. We're gonna talk a little bit about each of these teams, but that is it for right now. Let's go back and look at the mailbag questions, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's scroll down here. Guy with the long mailbag questions, back with 3 more questions. All right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I saw Thor with Stormbreaker at one point with a new Love and Thunder costume. Yes, we've seen that in ads. We've seen that in ads on Instagram and Facebook and things like that, but not in game yet. Makes me wonder what they're gonna do with the Storm and Stormbreaker, or Thor and Stormbreaker. I know right now we have Mjolnir in the game. I wonder if that's gonna be like an additional thing, like we have the outfit for Captain America, which is switch to shield. The outfit for Gamora, we could toggle the helmet on and off. I wonder if later we're gonna get the option to switch that Mjolnir with Stormbreaker on that Thor costume, but we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes they put a lot of work into something and then just scrap it. So maybe we'll never see Stormbreaker in the game, but I hope that is not true. All right, we also saw Valkyrie with a new costume and some trailers for her. Yeah, we saw another teaser like ad that had Valkyrie in another costume. So do you think they're gonna do the same thing we did with Nico and make Valkyrie's costume and Stormbreaker option available next patch? I think the Stormbreaker and is likely for the next patch, if they're gonna do something with Stormbreaker, not just give us the option for Mjolnir. As far as Valkyrie, because I saw that in an ad, I'm assuming that's gonna be very, very near. So if they're gonna do it, it should be in 6.3. If they don't do it in 6.3, I don't think we're gonna get any of that stuff. And maybe that was just like a art thing for Valkyrie there. All right, with the new blog regarding details as how to unlock Apocalypse, when do you think we should be building up teams as required? My Darkhold is gear 15 with Morgana at 16. But, all right, so Darkhold, that should be a team that you should build up right now. And I think we should be building these teams as we need them in a game, in my opinion. Like I said, that Apocalypse unlock is very far away. That War unlock for Red Hulk is not in 6.3. It's going to be in 6.4, so that is kind of far away. Unlimited X-Men are nowhere near that level except for Rogue at gear tier 13, stupid SBCs. Yeah, so you can wait on them. Try to get as many gold stars as possible. If you may want to buy those red stars in the store if you see them, if they ever go to those stores, because I know like not even Madeline Pryor is in that red star store. I don't know when they're going to be added there, but yeah, build them as much as possible. Save your gear, especially your teal gear. Wait on your teal gear. You could put some orange gear, and you may want to wait on some characters for orange gear, but definitely wait on that teal gear. But yeah, you could wait on unlimited X-Men. You're not going to need them, really need them until we're getting closer to that Apocalypse unlock. And that is going to happen after the second, or at least according to that blog post that we showed earlier, after the second run of War and the second run of Death, and we don't even have the first runs yet. So you can wait on the Unlimited Apocalypse for a little bit. Chris will be a source of Gear 17 pieces, but do you think my building Unlimited X-Men right now is worth it? It could be, depending on what you're doing in Crucible. If you're using that team in Crucible, then you probably want to build them a little more. If you're not using them in Crucible and you're getting wins despite that, then you probably don't need Unlimited X-Men right now. Balance is doing 2.3, so we should have no problem transitioning to Doom 3 or even Doom 3.1. Maybe 3.1 would be a decent place for you guys, because 3.1 is one difficulty higher than 2, so hopefully. But yeah, save your teal gear, brother. Which of the 3 teams for Red Hulk do you think will be the one? Wave 1 Avengers, Ravagers, or Hero Asgardians? So I actually did a video on this, a full half-an-hour video. My full thoughts are on that video, but just a short summary of it. Hero Asgardians, I think, are going to be the team. They have very strong passive healings in their passive. They're getting 5% for themselves, and then 5% for each Hero Asgardian ally, which is 25%. So every turn, they're a little slow, so that could be a hindrance to them. But every turn, they're getting 25% health. And Heimdall could clear heal blocks if they get if they run into that. So I think it's gonna be Heroes Asgardians. Now, Wave 1 Avengers are interesting because they have 3 characters that are on other teams. One is Thor, which are probably already building for Hero Asgardians, so we won't talk about him. But Iron Man and Hulk, they're required for other Scourges. So Iron Man is required for this, or not really required, but you could use him in this Scourge for War. You could also use him in the next Scourge for Death. So Iron Man's gonna give some decent value, plus he's a part of this tech raid team. So Iron Man, I think you could build him right away without really sacrificing any materials. Hulk, we'll probably have to wait. You will need him for the team, for the Horsemen team, for Red Hulk once he comes to the game. So you will need to build him for Apocalypse. But as far as his value right now, he's a character that you might be able to hold on, at least for this event. We'll see what his rework, how good his rework is when he comes to the game, though. Same thing with She-Hulk, or when it's announced in the game. And as far as Ravagers, I really think Star-Lord, T'Challa, and Yondu are really good. Ravager Stitcher is a good character as well. I think you've already have those 3 built. You could put a little more resources in them to make them viable for certain difficulties of the Scourge event. But if you don't already have your Ravagers invested into at least those 3, you could probably hold off. You could probably get through you could probably get a decent score with just your Wave 1 Avengers and Heroes Asgardians. The Ravagers are probably the trap team, but like I said, if you already have them built up, they'll at least be a decent sacrifice team. With the reworks Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, maybe for the first time we could mix and match teams. Maybe. If you do mix and match teams, though, as far as the Hero Asgardian, you are losing out on some of that passive healing, because it is determined not just by their max health, but the amount of other Asgardians on the field. So maybe we'll have to see on that one, since the reworks may make hybrids possible. Maybe Iron Man, Hulk, Mighty Thor, and either T'Challa or Valkyrie is the 5th. Sound like an OP team. It could be. It will depend on the enemies and the amount of Scourges we have, though. So I like that train of thought. I think we have at least a full patch to think on it, though. All right. Hey, what is up, ValleyFlyin? Fist bump from Seattle, fist bump from Texas, my brother. With some of the recent data lines showing new gear pieces coming, do you have a recommendation on what orbs would make the best to start hoarding? Example, on the main supply page of T16, 15, and 16 raid orbs, etc. Thanks, Breeze. All right, so this is what I would hoard. Now, we had the introduction of Gear Tier 17 in the latest blog post, so all the orbs that are getting reworks is what you should be hoarding. Now, Cosmic Crucible, they're getting Cosmic Crucible in the store, so I would save your Cosmic Crucible's currency. Doesn't say that they're getting a new orb for Cosmic Crucible, so you could use your orbs there. Or we could wait till the update drops, because as we know, all this stuff in the blog post is subject to change, so what is here may be accurate or it may not be. All right, next is the raid orb store. There's gonna be a new teal orb now. You won't be able to open that with your normal raid currency. You're gonna only earn that through the Doom 3 raid, so you don't have to save your raid currency, but you do wanna get as much teal orbs as possible so that you could get as much of these new Gear 17 pieces on your characters as soon as possible. And then main supply stores, there's more availability of these for that. And in the main orb, there's a new Armory 17 orb coming. So it doesn't look like any of the stuff you would be able to save for new orbs, but some of the currency I do recommend saving there, brother. These Gear 17 orbs look like they're gonna be very, very valuable, especially, if you're gonna unlock Apocalypse, you need this stuff. So very, very valuable for all that stuff there, my brother. All right, as we move on to the next question, ValleyFlyin. First time writing to the ValleyFlyin channel. Thank you, my brother Jericho. Do you think the Secret Avengers will be viable in the future, or will they be the Symbiotes 2.0? Well, they're viable right now. And as we get further and further from their release, they're gonna get less and less valuable. That's just kind of how this game goes. So I don't see them getting a rework. There were rumors of Null coming to the game and Symbiotes getting a rework. That may happen. I don't see that happening in 2022 though. But maybe something down the road, especially if Apocalypse is the new bad guy, they would need someone to beat that team, and Null would be a candidate for that. I've heard a few other characters rumored as well. Mephisto is one of the rumored characters, but they're gonna be viable in the future until they're replaced by the new skill team. Right now, they're the best team for the skill raids, but will they hold up for some of the harder content of Doom 3? We'll have to see on that, but I'm assuming not really. I'm assuming there's gonna be a new solution coming later that they could sell us, because that's what they like to do, create problems and sell the solutions. That is their marketing strategy here. All right, what is up, my brother? Have you heard of any issues in regards to receiving incorrect rewards for the Famine Scourge event? I was ranked 11 through 13, and according to both in-game rank rewards, as well as what was posted on MSF website, I should have received 30 bonus shards, but I only received 15. I've contacted support twice and was told by both reps the middle bonus rewards are visual issues, and after checking, I received the correct rewards. This does not seem to be a visual issue. So I guess what you're saying is the correct rewards based on what you saw in your inbox and not what you saw on the website. This does not seem to be a visual issue. Not sure what this even means. Both reward lists suggest the same quantity of bonus shards. Currently trying a third time to get the issue corrected, but may have not been the only one to have this issue. If needed, I could DM you screenshots as well if this helps others who may have had the same issues. Well, I'm glad you have your screenshots, because that'll help you get you a good response with the customer service. But there was an issue with these Scourge events with the rewards that we're supposed to get. So there's the normal rewards that are getting just from completing the event, your leaderboard rewards, and then there's those first time run rewards, which was like, I think it was like 15 times 9 for one of the ranks, and then 5 times 9 or something like that, or something weird like that. Well, when that came out, it just said 15. It didn't say 15 times 9. And when I claimed mine, I think mines were correct. I didn't calculate everything where I should be, but I know I wanted that 6 star. I got the 6 star. I don't think it's too much of an issue unless you're deprived of star rank, then you can push a little harder the next time Scourge runs. Everybody with 7 stars is confirmed they're going to be placed into a new bracket, so they're not going to be taking shards away from someone that already is trying to get more shards for Morgan Le Fay or any of these other Scourge characters. So as far as I know, it was a visual bug. I think mines are correct. I know some other people were complaining about it, but when they claimed it, they got the correct amount of shards. So hopefully your screenshots will do anything, but I haven't heard anything other than it being a visual bug. But if yours was not, I'm glad you have the screenshots, brother. And yeah, keep writing in until you get a good customer service person, because sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you don't. All right, greetings from Valley. Greetings, Valley, from the sunny, rainy Seattle. Just started DD5 with 4 city tunes and Doom. With the new tier 16 requirements for Apocalypse, would you recommend I focus on Horsemen teams or continue upgrading DD5 to fist bumps for all the great content? I would try to do both if possible. The big thing that you're gonna run a hindrance on is these teal pieces. Now, with a lot of these Horsemen teams, I don't think you have a big problem choosing from your global characters. There's a lot of great global characters on these Horsemen teams and of these Scourge Unlock teams. So I think global you should be fine. City is the issue though. And even at this point, I might go back and still do characters like the new Warriors or the Web Warriors. At least with the Web Warriors, they are a Scourge team. At least with the Web Warriors, they are a team that could get you through Dark Dimension 5, and a team that could help you get through the Doom raids, especially now that we know that Bio is still a trait there. So, yeah, build up the Web Warriors. They should help with City. I know a lot of them take this superior Oz formula. If you get enough of that, that should be a no-brainer. If not, just because of the length, how long it is for Apocalypse, I think you're safe building up a character here and there. Getting through Dark Dimension 5, remember that you're not just putting gear into characters to get through Dark Dimension 5. Once you actually get through Dark Dimension 5, you get Dormammu, which makes a lot of things easier, and you're getting a bunch of teal gear as well. So I would still focus on characters that you're using in City, and yes, hopefully that helps you in the long run. But yeah, we got a long time till Apocalypse is here. We got a long time till War is here, frankly. So I think you have enough time to make up whatever you put in these characters for City, my brother. All right, given new information on Horsemen sagas and Apocalypse unlock, would be prevailing wisdom to recommend that those players who do not have completed Dark Dimension 5 just focus on the Horsemen teams and members for Horsemen DD5 runs. Yeah, but like I said with the previous question, you're gonna run into some problems in City. I mean, She-Hulk, she's not a very good character, and unless her rework is spectacular, she's not gonna be doing much in the City sections there. So if you got some cheaper characters, you may be able to use them on City, but yeah, global, you should be fine. And then I still think I would bring the Eternals into the cosmic section there. The legendary section, you should be fine as well. But I think I'll still bring in the Eternals there. Probably Kestra. I know they're not teams that you can unlock any Scourges with, or that you can unlock Apocalypse with. But I know the Eternals have helped me in both of these previous Scourge events. So I'm assuming that their value will help you in future Scourge events too. So got to kind of balance it, but hopefully with that info and the timing and looking at it from that perspective, probably not getting Apocalypse till December of 2022 at the earliest. You may want to invest for the right now and not keep planning so long towards the future. All right. Natalie, greetings from Canada. Greetings from the US, my brother. Now that we have red stars for Rogue, which ISO class would you recommend? Striker. Striker is the best class for Rogue. Like many, I've been using Skirmisher to have more chances to land the debuffs from her special, but now with red stars in play, would you recommend just switch to Striker? Yes. The only reason I use Skirmisher on a lot of characters is because I want the folks to land the debuffs, but since she got a red stars, I haven't had a problem with her landing her debuffs, so Striker is the way to go for her. All right, hey Valley, I'm wondering if you tried any unlimited X-Men versus Stormhold and Cosmic Crucible. I'm wondering if there's firepower to take them out or not. That's a tough one. I have Rogue and Gambit on defense in Cosmic Crucibles. I have not tried them yet. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of that match through my head, and I don't see it happening because of the turn meter rewind and the revives, but I could be wrong on that. Yeah, if anybody knows for sure, if anybody's done that matchup, let me know in the comments, because your first-hand experience would be better than my guesses. All right, what is up, brother King Handsome? Okay, to tell me if this is crazy or brilliant, without reading it, probably a little both, my brother. All right, need one more member for this DD5 City section. I have Ghost Spider, Scarlet Spider, Cloak, and Dagger. So the way the game is trending right now, I'm looking at City. Who could possibly be a member of the 4 Horsemen team? I feel like, obviously, I should just take members of those teams, so I have them build for Apocalypse event. She-Hulk is, in my opinion, most likely of the City teams because she'll be part of the Red Hulk team. Yes, she is. And if that is important to you, that War team and the eventual Apocalypse unlock in, I'm still thinking it's going to be December or January of next year. If that is important to you and build her up right now, you're not going to waste it. You're going to have to level her up eventually. But she won't help you too much in Dark Dimension 5 unless she gets some crazy rework. She's not the best character. And if I'm remembering correctly, she does take a bit of that teal uniques there. So she'll be a part of Red Hulk's team, assuming Red Hulk is the next Horseman. He is the next Horseman. Yes, your guess was correct, my brother. With that being said, do I go ahead and gear her up now? I would wait to see what her rework is before you gear her up. You may find other values and some other cheaper tunes for her City that could get you through that node quickly. I know that sounds crazy, but that's still the way the game is going. I would take her to City and then Darkhold to Cosmic, Global, and Legendary. Why waste resources if they're going to be part of the bigger picture? Appreciate your input. So again, they are part of the bigger picture, and if you build up those teams that you suggested, that's probably the most efficient use of your resources. But with the time frame that we have, many months still that you're going to need that She-Hulk for the Gamma team, unless that war is really important to you and that Red Hulk team just smashes everything in war. I think you could hold off. It wouldn't be wrong to build them up right now though and just do that, but I don't think it's totally wrong to hold off on them either. Yeah, hopefully with all the information you could do what's best for your roster, because this game it's not a cookie cutter answer for anyone in this game anymore, because a lot of it's based on where you're at, what your goals are, what modes you like, what you're looking for the future, what your spending habits are. So I don't think either one is wrong, but personally I would not build up She-Hulk right now if I was in your situation. Do you think the Ravagers are the team for Scourge since they give a lot of sustain? Seems like they're making Scourge teams ones we could skip, so should we just build every new team? That seems to be what everyone wants to do, but I can also see build of the Hero Asgardians being the team to build. Problem is their speed. I mean, their tank is the fastest on the team, and they don't have any protection on spawn, so they could be easily wiped out. I want to know what you think I should have. I have me a Hero Asgardians as Thor, Heimdall, Sif. They're at gear 13 and gear 12, all of them. T'Challa's 14, Yondu's 12. 7 red on him, and other minions are 12, 16, 4. All right, so I think you're fine building up T'Challa and Yondu. I think they'll give you some value. Probably a little more than just a sacrifice team to set cooldowns up. The other minions on the Ravagers, Bruiser, Boomer, I think they'll just be getting your cooldowns lined up. I think the Hero Asgardians are the way to go, just based off looking at their kits and that passive healing. They are slow, so that is a good point. They're not getting that healing as often as possible as someone that is a fast character. T'Challa, you might want to have that healer ISO 8 class on him just because he takes so many turns and he could be doing a lot of healing. He was a very, very valuable part of that club section of Gambit raids for me. So him paired with Yondu, getting summons on the field, hopefully getting good RNG and having the AI use their big moves on the minions, that would be a good thing. So I don't see Yondu as a total waste there. So I think you're good there with Asgardians. May want to skip the Ravagers, but you already have T'Challa and Yondu built. I think you're pretty good on him. And Yondu's at gear red star 7, which means his minions are going to be a little more survivable as well. So you might probably put a little bit of resources into T'Challa and Yondu, maybe even Stitcher if you already have him built. He is a cheaper character, so you're not sacrificing too much by building up Stitcher, but I think the Hero Asgardians are the way to go for this one. All right, so my thought process for the next event is 3 teams are whatever, but Iron Man, Hulk are the only 2 that matter. Hulk being part Horsemen, and Iron Man being part of the next unlock team. Other than those 2, why dump resources to any of the other teams' thoughts? Because they could help you right now. If you have a team that could help you right now in the tech section and you're not building them for something that's coming up in December, that could hurt your long-term progress. So that would be the argument against them. I mean, Red Hulk's not even coming till 6.4. So Hulk, even though his rework is probably happening as soon as the update drops for 6.3, might not be super usable until 6.4 rolls around. I mean, maybe when we get some of these other Gamma characters out, he'll be a little usable, but I think that you could wait on him. I don't think it's wrong to wait. Why dump resources on the other team? Like I said, just for the immediate benefit of it. All right. I have a couple questions about teal gear. With a new Origin challenge to have teal Origin gear or not? No, they won't. That would be way too generous. They just released the teal, and the only place to get that gear right now is in those orbs, those raid orbs that we get for teal gear, and those Armory 16, and then the war. Actually, no, there's nothing in war right now. The Crucible, you can get some stuff into the Crucible orbs there. But yeah. And when are they going to loosen up on teal gear? Because I'm in DD5 and I'm trying to get the right tunes to 16, but it's kind of a bit much. So Crucible helps with that. And this new raid that's coming out will help with that as well. So hopefully that helps you get through DD5 so you don't have to worry about it anymore and you just focus on these Scourge teams. All right, recently started my journey to DD5, nice. Both characters are already at gear 16. All right, I'll come back to these teams when I see the question. With all these Scourge required characters, what do you suggest I continue my plan, what to bring to DD5? If not, can you just suggest what I bring to DD5? I'm not in a hurry to complete DD5. I want to hit multiple birds with limited resources. I hope you're doing well. All right, so let's look at this city section here. Scarlet Spider, Gwen, Shang, and OG Spider. You can bring another Spider in there, or I like your plan of Squirrel Girl for the Rogue Scourge event when that rolls around. So that's a good one there. Not a lot of waste there. Global, you have Doom, which is a good character. Sabretooth, which is a cheap character. Maria Hill, Lady Deathstrike. Now, Lady Deathstrike may not be as valuable. She is a tech character for the tech raids, but we're getting this Bionic Avengers here. So they may be replacing Lady Deathstrike. She'll still have some value on the Weapon X team, but if you're not going to use her in the tech section, she loses value there. So I probably wouldn't do Lady Deathstrike at this point. Sabretooth is still cheap, so that's not that bad. Captain Sam, he's still the skills section character. Same with Maria Hill. I like these two characters. They won't help with Scourge, but you may want to do a Darkhold character like a Wong or Agatha for Global, just so you could double up on some things, especially for this Lady Deathstrike. Are they going to be better in Dark Dimension 5? No, but you know, you're trying to conserve resources to be the most effective. So probably go with one of the Darkhold characters here. Cosmic, you got Kestrel, Eternals, T'Challa, Ravager, Stitcher. Now these will give you some value in the War Scourge event. Kestrel and Eternals, I probably would still build them because they're so good in that mode. The other two don't really matter. So you could bring in someone like Heartless Strange because he is a Darkhold character. Again, Stitcher and T'Challa are going to be better than Heartless Strange in DD5, but yeah, you could bring in these characters there. But yeah, the Heartless Strange I would recommend over him. All right, Legendary, all Scourge Legendaries. So we got two right now. We got Rogue and Morgan Le Fay. And I guess you could build up anyone else that you have the resources for. Invisible Woman works very well in that game mode, although I see her value very low outside of that. Same with Shuri. She has value right now, but with this new Bionic Avengers, I see Shuri kind of like Lady Deathstrike and the value going down there. So yeah, just build whatever's cheap. I mean, you could also build up Iron Man. He's gonna have some value there. Those are three. There's probably some others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah, build those up. Build those up. Yeah, those are good. All right. Guy with the 2. All right, Valley, a couple weeks ago, I asked you to talk me out of taking Nick Fury to Gear 16 to start Legendary DD5. You tried, but I didn't even want it. And let me tell you, I feel like he inspired the other members of Cruise through DD5. He should be a decent member for DD5. He has a speed on spawn. He can summon minions, which could take some pressure off of your key characters, which are MILF and Omega Red. And if you have Rogue in there as well, that's going to be another good character to bring through. Omega Red is another good character. Not going back to this question here, Omega Red is a good legendary character as well. He's not required for the Scourge, but he's helped me in every single, I guess we've only had 2. So both of the Scourges, he's been a key part of getting through that. So Omega Red's a decent character as well. But Nick Fury, he overperformed. That is good. I thought you'd like to know. Hey, Nick Fury, at least he's not like T'Challa or Doc Ock that has virtually no use. You could still use him with those Secret Avengers. I still use him on War because Kestrel and Shang-Chi on other teams. And yeah, he does the job there. I use him on Crucible as well for certain nodes there. So Nick Fury still has some value. He's not total trash like some of these other characters, but I'm wondering, would you rather have done Nick Fury or done Iron Man now that you know what you know now? Let me know your thoughts, brother. All right. Hey, Valley, greetings from Singapore. Could I ask you why Red Hulk is one of Apocalypse's Horsemen? I don't recall him ever being used in the comics. Does not make sense lore-wise. It does not make sense lore-wise, but if we go back to what they said all the way back in February when this was announced, what they said was, and we'll scroll down here, think you figure out who the Horsemen are? Think again, working closely with Marvel Entertainment, we've written and developed a new take on the story of Apocalypse and the identities of the 4 Horsemen specifically for Marvel Strike Force. It could be anyone. So at this point, we knew it's not just going to be mutants. It could be anyone. And we had Morgan Le Fay as the first Scourge character. It's like, who is this character? I don't remember her from the comics at all. So I think that should have been an indication that they're not really following the comic lore. They're not really following the MCU lore and they never have in this game, so it shouldn't be too surprising there. All right, what do you anticipate being the best ISOs for the heroes Guardians? I'm more concerned about Scourge than for War. All right, so for War, it's probably gonna be Raider on all of them. I know a lot of players are putting Raider on, maybe not all the characters, but for most of the characters. I think you could, there's a few that you might want to put that Striker on, but as far as Scourge, you might want to put Healer on some of these characters, and then based on what you're doing, the Scourges that you have equipped, you may not have your debuff stick. Like for Thor, that getting those stuns to stick are going to be very, very important. So for Scourge, you may want to stick him as a Skirmisher just to get the debuffs, or Healer on some of your faster characters like Star-Lord T'Challa, just to give a little more survivability for those characters. Hard to say right now without all the information on what characters we need to face, but I'm going to go possibly Healer, possibly Scourge, or possibly Striker for Scourge. Not Striker, Skirmisher for Scourge. All right, deleted my last Q, Hardgrave, and surprisingly Blog answered, what do you think about Scoponex not making Scourge teams farmable? It is trash. I don't like that. This is a double-edged sword though, because I would not have got to the 6-star MILF or a 6-star Rogue if it was a traditional legendary release, but I was able to grind and push a little harder because I didn't have Echo at that star level. I didn't have Kate at that star level. I didn't have some of my web wars at star level when we had the original MILF event. So there's some good of it. It's not all bad, but as far as the actual farmability, that is trash. That is total trash. For legendary tunes, we used to get some farmability. Feels like they made the switch to Star Wars Galactic Legends style to further increase the gap between pay to win and free to play. The thing is, they're not even doing the pay to win very good either, because the offers just sometimes they're not there. Just like with the last milestones for this Thor event, you know, I was waiting to the last day. Maybe I was gonna purchase some of those Thor orbs, and then there was no offer for it. So they don't even do that correctly. But it is trash that they're not making them farmable. They're either lazy, or they're brain dead, or they're forgetting stuff, or they're just greedy. So it's probably one of those, or maybe it's a combination of all that. The MILF is back this week, and none of the ones I've needed have been made farmable. Putting the Punk in an orb is not farmable. Yeah, Scarlet Spider, that is the trashiest one ever. The Punk, at least they gave more shards for him than some of these other previous characters. He's in one of the passes right now. He was a pretty generous on top of release. And then I think in some of these other subsequent events, you'll be able to get a lot of shards for Punk. So Punk, I don't mind as much, but Scarlet, he had a trash release method in the original Pocket Dimension. No way to get more shards for him if you were free to play, and then never came back. Not in orbs. There's no real way to get shards for him. So that Scarlet one is pretty trash. And I hope they do something for Kate Bishop and Echo, because those need to come back before Rogue's event comes back. Then it is total trash for that. All right, hey Valley, with ISO 4 out of 5 on your Horseman teams being a requirement for Apocalypse, given its scarcity, would it be better to wait and see what ISO each Horseman should be when on a team together with Apocalypse? Yes. You could take them up to ISO 8 level 3, but level 4 is very rare. Level 5 is even rarer. I mean, it's not even a game at 6.2 right now. So you should be fine taking them to ISO 8 level 3, ISO 8 blue level 3, but anything past that, you should wait. Wait till right before the Scourge. Save your resources and let somebody else test out what is the best things and just follow that. Or do you think we should have do which best ISO on their individual Horseman teams and switch later? Take them up to 3 and then equip them when you need to. All right, and then you might need to equip it for the Doom 3 raids if you're going through that highest difficulty. Greetings, brother. What is up, Galaxy? Do you think that with the implementations of sagas and the shift to focus on largely Horseman teams, that the previous meta teams, i.e. Axemen, will fall by the wayside for the Horseman Mutant team, i.e. Unlimited? Not Unlimited, but for the rumored Excalibur team, which if my calculations were correct, we should get some characters for that in 6.5 in October, and then we should get the rumored Archangel and all the rest of the team in November. So yeah, we're shifting away from the Axemen and some of the old teams, but not Unlimited X-Men. Basically, if I'm a newer player, should I even bother investing in Axemen when there's a Scourge Horseman team that I have to build? If I can do the same thing and have to build them a little higher? That is a good question. If you don't build your Axemen right now, you're going to be struggling to Doom 2 raids and Doom 3 raids, which will make it harder to unlock the rest of these Apocalypse and make it harder to get through the sagas of these other Horsemen. So yes, you're saving resources, but you're kind of hurting yourself if you don't do Axemen right now, because while they're not good and while they are going to be phased out when the Excalibur team comes into play, they're the best right now. You know, you got hybrids that you could work with. I know Rogue goes into some hybrids, Omega Red goes into some hybrids, but Axemen, they are the best solution for the mutant raids right now. So I would build them to a certain level, but just know that all your resources, you're gonna have to invest in another team for Apocalypse, but you're gonna need something right now. And I guess if your alliance is not doing Doom 2 or Doom 3, you won't need a mutant specific team. But if you are right now, or thinking of it doing in the near future, unfortunately, you may need Axemen. You may need to invest in a few teams just so you could do the content right now. So I hope that helps. Thank you for all of your questions. If you want to get your question featured on an upcoming episode of these Monday mailbags, make sure you are a member of Discord and go to the mailbag question channel, leave your question there. Thank you for everyone that left a question. I think we answered all of them. Sometimes we don't answer, but I think we answered all of them this week. And I will see you guys next time. Check me out on Twitter, because that is where I post a lot of my responses and updates when the game has things going on with it. I get that a little faster than YouTube. Sometimes I'm on Instagram, so check me out there as well. And check out Amazon Coins, guys. That is my preferred way to buy anything in Marvel Strike Force. So if you're spending money and it is available in your region, you could save up to 20% off your entire purchase in game. So that is it. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Valley Club in the morning stream on Twitch. And we've got another video out. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Hulk fist bump before you go. ValleyFlyin out.